Girl. According to the streets, Beyoncé has allegedly been threatening Jay-Z's other daughter to keep quiet or face serious consequences, suggesting that she is keen to be his only child-rearing daughter. You're in for a surprise if you assumed that Beyoncé would be too busy to manage business while on tour because she doesn't joke about her family. This outside daughter will soon discover the hard way that Beyoncé will stop at nothing to ensure that Blue Ivy continues to be Jay-Z's first child. What specifically did Beyoncé do to frighten the daughter away? And has she actually been threatening Jazz's other children out here? Now, let's get started. Alright, so Beyoncé will do whatever it takes to keep her marriage intact. She still identifies as a Creole Bangla from Louisiana, as she stated in her song Outside Babies Jolene. Furthermore, based on what we know about her, it appears that she dislikes outside babies. You all recall how she treated her half-siblings, don't you? Her mother, Tina, had 2 outside children from her father, Matthew Knowles, who had an affair with her. Beyoncé fired Matthew as her manager because she was so incensed. She said that their creative differences forced them to part ways, but everyone knows that's because of those outside babies he had after cheating on Tina for years. However, Beyoncé's treatment of her half-siblings, whom she has never met and doesn't acknowledge, was the most telling. Her half-sister's mother claims that they are half-sisters and that it might be possible to make that happen in the future. We don't believe the second half is the charm, though, if Bey and Solo haven't met their half-brother yet. Matthew's other baby mama disclosed that Beyoncé never contacted her, despite the fact that she lives nearby and has been so impoverished that she was on the verge of homelessness. She claimed that Bey, a billionaire with no contact, recently purchased the priciest home in California, which is 10 miles from our home. However, there hasn't been any communication. The ache has yet to subside. My primary concern has been dealing with a child that wonders, why doesn't that person love me? I sit in the bathroom and cry sometimes because I just don't know how to help him be his own person. Now, Beyoncé doesn't owe them kids anything, but the way she went out of her way not to acknowledge them doesn't make it surprising that she has zero pity for the kids that Jay-Z has outside their marriage, especially since the streets are saying that she didn't even know about the kids from the start. Now, before we get into the new daughter and her accusations, can we take a minute to talk about the claimed son? According to Rymir, not only did Beyoncé allegedly force Jay-Z not to acknowledge her, but he also allegedly got threatened by people from Beyoncé's team. At first, we thought that the reason Jay-Z refused to acknowledge Rymir was that he got Rhee's mom pregnant when she was only a teenager, and he was a grown man. According to Rhee's guardian, Lily, who is also his mom's friend, I got a call Jay-Z's lawyer from his in-house lawyer, and they were very helpful, and we thought we would resolve this discreetly. They even talked about Ryr's music talent and whether it was a good time to put him on his record label, but he had to finish high school, so I said no. Suddenly, different lawyers got involved and their attitude completely changed. I think they realized there was more at stake for Sean given that Wanda was allegedly underage. Wanda was only 16 when she allegedly met Sean, but she may have told him she was older. She felt pregnant, but had no idea how to contact him. Rhee also expressed his frustration with the situation, saying, I don't want money or anything like that from Jay-Z. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. He's meant to be a wonderful role model for our community. He yells Black Lives Matter as he stands there. We'll accept responsibility and speak the truth. Simply take the exam if you claim that I'm not your son and nothing ever happened with my mom. When asked to take a paternity test, what is your initial response if you are speaking the truth? No. However, he and Lily later came forward to tell that they had found out that Beyoncé was the real reason that Jay-Z fought the case instead of spending 5 seconds out of his day to take a DNA test to verify that he wasn't the father.
But that's people were saying that she's a big part of the problems for him, and some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, he would help her.
They also stated that they had been getting several threats from Beyoncé's team, and they were terrified for their lives.
The Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there.
Stuff out there, and it's not like they were lying because according to Intimidation Methods reporter Liz Crokin RYR and Dr. Lily claim intimidation methods have been used against them for years. Restated he was at after he filed a civil suit against Jay-Z. Dr. Lily feels that Beyoncé played a crucial part in persuading Jay-Z from acknowledging Ramir and settling the case. Beyoncé and Jay-Z may have cruelly ridiculed Ree in their music. And to make it even more strange, just when the judge finally ordered Jay-Z to give his DNA after 15 long years, Ree suddenly filed a request to drop the lawsuit without an explanation. Well, the streets are now stating that Beyoncé allegedly got to him one way or another and frightened him into abandoning the lawsuit. And supposedly, that's the same thing that's happening with the alleged daughter, Letitia Mayer. Now, Letitia first came out last year stating that she was preparing to expose Jay-Z as her Letitia's story father. She wrote, "I've been quiet for far too long. Join me as I tell you my story of living in the shadows of being Jay-Z's daughter in a city where everyone knew he was my father. As I was growing up, I saw my mom, who I've always known, become bedridden all the time due to multiple sclerosis. However, I managed to balance attending school full-time, working 2 jobs at the hospital and the prison, and having 4 children, including twins." She also asserted that she had completed a DNA test that demonstrated Jay-Z was her father in an effort to demonstrate that she wasn't lying. "First of all, it was recently verified by Ancestry DNA," she stated. "Their accuracy rate is 99%. Second, I'm speaking out now since I said fact number 1. Third, my mom made an effort to get in touch with him. Celebrities are not eligible for child support in the same way that your baby daddy is. Fourth, lawyers made fun of me. Fifth, unless it's Hova, deadbeat dads are okay. Sixth, I considered this every single day of my life. Now that 28 years have passed, it's time for me to share my tale. How long should I have waited to make a public comment about this?" These assertions were also supported by Letitia's mother's former friend, who said, "I know the story. A public statement from beginning to end. Years ago, I connected your father and mother. When I lived at 500 Side Greenwood Avenue, Jay asked me who she was. We spent a lot of time relaxing in that appointment. Among other things, we played cards, smoked, drank, and laughed. For years, Lisa and I have discussed this," she went on. "I recall when Lisa visited my home on Bradley Avenue in Cambridge, Maryland, and Lisa and I called Rockefeller in an attempt to get in touch with Jay to let him know about Tasha. Do you know how many women call me every day and say, 'Jay-Z, baby daddy,' was the man's precise statement. My hand to God." Thus, as Gloria Jean Turner once said, "What is done in secret will eventually be revealed." These days, this is the case. Now, everything would be different if the DNA test actually showed that Letitia is Jay-Z's daughter. As you are all aware, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been gradually preparing Blue Ivy to succeed her mother as the Carter heir. She has voiced Kiara in The Lion King, accompanied her mother on tour as a backup dancer, attended red carpet events, and more. She is an elegant and beautiful young woman, which is just the kind of image Beyoncé wants for Blue, her and Jay-Z's first child, according to fans. According to what the streets are saying, Letitia taking the title of Jay-Z's first daughter, that is, the heir to the throne, is the last thing she wants. For this reason, it is being said on the streets that Beyoncé allegedly persuaded her followers to threaten Letitia in the same way that she did with RHYR. And because Letitia has vanished, it appears that the purported threats may have been successful. She removed every post she had made that exposed Jay-Z, and she even wiped her account completely. And, to put it mildly, this has caused supporters to become extremely skeptical. Fans are now curious about Jay-Z's number of outside children, even if it appears that Beyoncé may have been successful in securing the Blue Ivy crown. He probably still has more children out there that we are unaware of, given how he was rumored to be slanging that thing all over town. Let's just say that Beyoncé has her job cut out for her if this is accurate. However, I'd like to hear how you guys feel about this in the interim. So, add your ideas in the comments and then check out this next video.